Hey everyone, I'm Abby Sharp. Welcome to Abby's Kitchen. On today's What I Eat in a Day YouTuber review, we are going to be talking about Kalel. Now, Kalel is a bit of an enigma in the YouTube world. She's pretty much known for pulling her channel down, completely rebranding herself, and then putting a whole new channel together. So previous variations on her channel have information about cosplay, there's been beauty, DIY fashion, crafts, lifestyle advice, quite a range of information, that's for sure. Back in 2016, she rebranded again, and now her channel is simply called Kalel. In past videos, she's talked a lot about kind of eating vegan and animal advocacy, and her two cats, which of course, we love seeing animals in videos. And recently, she's come out as no longer being vegan and now incorporating some more animal products into her diet. So before she goes and pulls this video and starts a whole new channel or whatever, I want to take the time to review this video. So let's get started.
A video showing what I've been eating. I'm getting back on track with my health because let me tell you, the beginning of this year was not a good year for my health. But we're getting back on track. I'm gonna lose the weight I gained and I'm going to bring you guys along on the journey. So let's do it. I just want to say Buki has also gained weight. How many pounds have you gained, lady? No. Or did you gain weight because you got upset that Reenie's here? Speaking of Reenie.
Okay, so trigger warning, obviously there's some weight loss talk going on. Also, there's some cat fat shaming. So apparently fat shaming and weight stigma is not limited to us humans.
I have two different teas. You have the skinny tea and you have the colon tea, and they give you kind of like a little schedule of when you drink what. Now,
okay, I just want to say that this tea company legit harasses me and emails me every single week to collaborate. I haven't answered for a reason. Hard no. But anyways, this skinny tea that Kalel has got here, she claims that it will help to reduce her cravings so that she craves sugar less, and can help stabilize her blood sugar. And the colon tea that she's taken, which sounds terrible, the colon tea apparently can help detox your colon. Insert eye roll here, please. Okay, let's talk about this colon tea, which, let's be real, is not the most appetizing name. I'm not sure who in marketing thought that one up. But anyways, Kalel claims that that the colon holds on to stuff and then releases toxins into your body. Girl, what does that even mean? I have said this in pretty much every single one of my previous videos, but you do not need to detox your colon. Your body has a natural detoxification system that is working around the clock. No tea, no food, not even a colonic is going to be able to do that for you. And I've got a video on colonics right here, so you can check that right out. Of course, we can help our colon out by drinking lots of water, getting exercise in, eating lots of fiber, but any kind of manipulation beyond that can often do more harm than good. Now, this colon tea's main ingredient is senna leaf, which is a laxative. Not surprisingly. Some of the common side effects of using laxatives on the daily are things like dehydration, electrolyte imbalance, and dependence. In other words, you can't without it. Yes, these are derived from natural sources and when consumed in normal amounts are not likely to cause any kind of problem. However, it's really important to know that even natural products are not benign, so you really don't want to go overboard. Next, let's talk about the skinny tea. Another, let's be real, offensive name. But for a while now, a lot of these kind of skinny teas or weight loss teas have been really killing it in the media through social media influencers and things like that. But the reality is they're just not a magic pill. Kalel mentions that this tea does not contain any laxatives. I guess she got enough of that with the colon tea, but rather that this tea is packed with natural sources of caffeine. Based on the evidence that we do have on other forms of caffeine like green tea, the research suggests that in clinical settings, the combination of caffeine and polyphenols in green tea may have modest impacts on metabolism. But when consumed in normal amounts in like everyday settings, they're not likely to have any noticeable impacts on weight loss. One of the main ingredients in this skinny tea is oolong, which is similarly high in caffeine like green tea. Now, the research that we have on oolong tea and appetite suppression is pretty scarce. A study in 2013 found that oolong tea really did not have any measurable impacts on weight loss. There really is not enough evidence to suggest that oolong tea has any impact on appetite. There is, however, evidence to suggest that drinking any no-calorie substance, whether that's tea or water before a meal, may help reduce your appetite. One study found when people drank 2 glasses of water before a meal, they consumed about 75 to 90 calories less. So what about these teas when it comes to stabilizing blood sugars? Well, a study conducted by the American Diabetes Association found that oolong tea may be an effective complement to diabetes treatment for people living with type 2 diabetes. However, this study had 20 participants and they were all taking medication for their diabetes, so I'm really not sure how much it tells us. So Kalel has really never shared that I'm aware of that she has type 2 diabetes, so I'm just going to assume that she does not. So we really don't know the impact of oolong tea on somebody without the disease. What is recommended for preventing blood sugar dips is to eat consistently and regularly, somewhere around every 3 to 4 hours, and to combine your carbohydrates with a source of fiber, protein, and or fat. The bottom line on these teas is that they're really not going to lead to any kind of measurable weight loss. And I really think it's high time that influencers stop promoting them and the FDA cracks down on some of these claims because they are super problematic. Please, Teamy, show me one piece of evidence that suggests that people drinking your teas are going to lose weight without changing their diet or exercise regime. Heck, I mean, show me any research that somebody can do all of those things and keep the weight off. Hey, if you want to drink a cup of tea, do it. I love tea. I drink it all the time. But don't waste your money on these fancy packages and outlandish claims and these programs that just make you spend more. And even if Kalel isn't using this product for weight loss purposes, she's partnering with this brand and aligning her views with theirs. So that says a lot about her brand and her channel. Okay, let's look at Brunch.
What inspired this was my love for kimchi fried rice, but I'm not about to wake up in the morning and make that because that's just too big of a production. So this is kind of like the quick and easy version of it. And then I also pour a little bit of the juice because if you guys didn't know, kimchi is probiotic, it's really good for you, and I feel like a lot of the beneficial bacteria are in the juice. So put a little bit of the juice on there and then transfer over my eggs. Let me just put the eggs on top, like so. And then last but not least, I put a little bit of black sesame on top, just for a bit of crunch and added nutrition.
800 calories. So based on my calculations, including the tea, Kalel's brunch clocks in at closer to 400 calories, so half of that. And for most people, that is like a light to moderate size breakfast. That's really not a big deal. I mean, like, to put that into perspective, a bagel with cream cheese would have the equivalent amount of calories. Having said that, I am totally digging this breakfast combination. I love that rice hack. I'm definitely gonna try that. Kind of gets those crispy bits on the bottom. So good. You guys also know I love eggs, of course, a really great source of protein. And of course, that sesame bit on top, it's gonna add some really good healthy fats. I also love fermented foods. They're rich in probiotics, which may play a role in heart health, bone health, blood sugar control, inflammation, immunity, even anxiety. Having said that, when choosing probiotic-rich foods, fermented foods, I definitely recommend going to the refrigerator section because sometimes those shelf-stable options have been pasteurized, which may compromise the live bacteria. Having said all of that, that looks super, super yummy. So let's continue on.
I'm terrible with food. And during during the time that I was vegan, I did not eat healthy food pretty much at all. I mean, I don't want to say at all. more fail-proof to get all of your nutrients and minerals on a diet that includes all of the food groups. It kind of, I mean, it's common sense, no? Assuming you're not eating fast food and microwavable food and whatever, right? I feel like I have a much larger safety net that I'm covering all of my nutrients, minerals, whatever, by including food from all of the food groups than just eating fruits, vegetables, grains.
Well, I am not vegan, and you guys know that. I've talked a lot about that in my video here. I do believe that it's totally possible to be healthy on a vegan diet. That is assuming that you have some nutrition education, not necessarily going to school, but like you've taken some time to learn about food and nutrition, and you're focused on getting all of your vitamins and minerals in, and also in terms of eating the right amount of food. I am a huge advocate for incorporating more plant-based foods in our diet, and I also acknowledge that there are definitely some health benefits to eating more plant-based, and also it's earth-friendly, so that's great too. However, I also agree with Kalel that when done incorrectly, a vegan diet can be very restrictive and can put people at risk for nutritional deficiencies, which seems to have happened to Kalel. So obviously, yes, it is easier theoretically to get all of the necessary vitamins and minerals when you're eating from all of the food groups. It's definitely not impossible on a vegan diet. It just takes a little bit more education and dedication.
Seeds and nuts, and now, I mean, I realize I've gained weight, and like, side note, I gained weight not from eating animal products. I gained weight because I binge ate tons and tons and tons and tons of processed sugar and barely moved.
Okay, so let's talk about this weight gain situation. So veganism, just to be clear, is not a weight loss diet, even though I know some people do use it as such. Being a carnivore or omnivore or a vegan is not responsible for weight changes. So I'm glad she kind of pointed that out. What actually may have happened is that Kalel maybe came off her vegan diet, and perhaps she had been feeling so restricted that she just couldn't help herself but binge and eat beyond her needs. I'm not necessarily saying that's what happened. I don't know that for sure. She has not said that. If she did, I don't know about it. But that's very common. It's very common when people come off any kind of restricted pattern of eating that they just kind of eat in excess. Now, I'm also not going to say that Kalel was nutritionally deficient while vegan. I don't know that, but she did say that she was not eating well. And one of the things that we should note is that sometimes when people are not getting enough vitamins and minerals, when they are nutritionally deficient, weight gain is actually a really good sign of recovery. So we need to stop thinking about weight gain as an inherently negative thing, when sometimes it's actually a really good sign of health.
I'll say it is possible that when you go from being vegan to eating animal products again, your digestion might be a little off. And I don't mean off in like a bad way, like an upset stomach or like unpleasant bathroom experiences, because I've had none of that. I was scared of that, but I've had none of that. What I mean is your microbiome changes when you go vegan. So I actually got my microbiome tested, and without even asking me any questions, they knew that I was vegetarian or vegan, because they can look at the different species, the different microorganisms that are in your gut, and they can tell what you've been feeding them. So I had all of these microorganisms that liked eating fiber, plant fiber.
So yes, it is true that the gut microbiome of somebody eating an omnivore diet would be different than that of a vegan diet. Research has actually found that a vegan diet promotes a higher count of diverse microorganisms in the gut compared to an omnivore diet. Not to mention, plant-based diets tend to be high in fiber, and fiber is a prebiotic, which means that it actually feeds the good gut bacteria. So it actually can help them flourish. Of course, somebody that eats animal products could easily have a really healthy microbiome as well. It really comes down to incorporating a lot of those high fiber foods like vegetables, fruits, whole grains, nuts, seeds, beans, etc. I also want to touch on changes to our digestion when we go from a vegan diet to an omnivore diet, because it's often claimed that, when you switch to eating kind of animal products again, that, your body can no longer digest the animal meat or proteins because we no longer produce the enzymes to break them down. That's not exactly true. If you haven't been eating dairy or meat for a while and you finally do, the enzymes that are responsible for breaking them down are simply just less active. So they are a little bit less efficient when you do rouse them back to work. The key is to go slow. The same way you wouldn't eat an entire can of beans the first day you go vegan, you don't want to eat an entire porterhouse steak in one go when you switch to becoming an omnivore. An ounce here or there will really give your body and enzymes some time to adjust, and very quickly your body will catch right back up and kick back into high gear.
And I think it's working. Obviously I've gained weight, but besides that, I feel like I look much healthier. I mean, the weight gain, we gotta lose a little bit of this, but just things like, I did have a breakout the other day because of some products I tried, which is now pretty much all cleared up, but like the quality of my skin looks so much better. I feel like my eyes look brighter, my hair stopped falling out, like all the problems that I was having in the past. My nails are so thick and growing and like not breaking. They were very brittle before. Just all of these problems that I had before are all going away. Obviously I have a new problem now with the weight, but the weight is fine. I know it will eventually come off. I mean, it will eventually come off. I've been saying.
Okay, so I have an issue with how this little rant has gone down. So first, Kalel talks through all of the amazing physical and emotional benefits that she has experienced as a result of changing her diet and ultimately gaining weight. But then she lets the weight gain overshadow it all, and the only reason she's okay with it is because she swears it's gonna come off. I don't really know her case specifically. I'm not her dietitian. However, I would venture to say that a lot of the benefits she just listed have less to do with incorporating animal products into her diet and more to do with perhaps that she is weight restored and now incorporating all of the micro and macronutrients that she needs. She's just more nourished now. So weight gain might not be her new problem. It might be her solution.
Part of my weight is because I binge ate sugar, and I'm just now getting out of that cycle. I literally reached a point, you guys, where I'm like, I literally just can't have it in my place anymore. I thought that I could be like, I thought that I could control myself and just have a few things, but no, I can't, because I have moments where, like I was saying earlier, I'll be so immersed in what I'm doing that I won't stop to eat. Now my blood sugar will drop so low that I'll just need something right now, and I'll just go and I'll grab a cookie, and then I'm like, I want more, I want more, I want more. I don't know how the blood sugar thing works. I eat a lot, so then it spikes up, so then it spikes back down even lower, and then I want more sugar and more sugar and more sugar. And sugar is like a legitimate drug. Like, I don't think this is like stressed enough. I mean, I know we've all heard this, but really the whole thing with like, when you put there was like some famous experiment where they did like rats, and the rats chose the sugar over the cocaine. Like, sugar is a true, it got me good.
Okay, so I'm gonna do a whole video on food addiction, and I actually touched on it in a previous video as well, but I'm just going to glaze over this really quickly for you guys. But basically, I totally understand and empathize with the experience and the feeling of being addicted to food. That is so, so real, and that's like a primal response. The animal research to date has shown that rats only exhibit this kind of food addiction behavior when they are restricted and when that sugar is restricted for them. So in other words, it's actually not the sugar that's the problem, it's the dieting, it's the restriction. And again, I'm gonna go into lots more detail. I'm gonna tell you about all the studies we have on food addiction to date, but I just wanted to kind of put that out there.
So that's what I've been doing, and that helped. I think if I wouldn't have went to the doctor and really got that thorough checkup, I probably couldn't have justified in my head starting to eat animal products again. But because of that, I felt like that was the thing that made me feel like it was okay, or that I could tell myself that it was the reason that it was okay, you know?
So I'm really happy that Kalel got some good advice from a health professional, and that she was willing to take that advice rather than kind of follow along with some other health influencer. But I also think this rant is really telling about how much pressure there is on influencers and YouTubers to maintain a certain kind of health journey, even if it's not healthy for them or it doesn't feel good for them, just because we're afraid of what our followers might think or say. Please, guys, let's support one another's health and food journey. There is room for all of us to do what works best for us.
Okay, it's been about 6 hours. That's how long I stayed full on that kimchi rice bowl. Seriously, it's very filling. But I'm thinking it's time for a snack. I could almost skip the snack, but I feel like you guys would kill me if I only ate 2 meals in this video, and that was all the video was. So I'm gonna force myself to eat a snack.
So I am all about intuitive eating, but I don't think worrying about what your followers might think is like a really intuitive way to eat. But also sometimes eating intuitively means eating kind of proactively, because you know that eating a certain amount of food or in a certain way or certain types of food will make you feel better by the end of the day. That's what we call gentle nutrition. And I'm gonna talk way more about that in our upcoming intuitive eating series. But Kalel also has mentioned a lot in this video that she really likes to maintain steady blood sugars. And the best way to do that is to eat regularly and consistently. So ideally every kind of 2 to 4 hours or so, and ultimately something with some fiber, protein, or good fats in there. So let's take a look at her snack.
Girl. I'm sorry, I know this is so boring, but for my snack, I decided I'm just gonna have an apple and some walnuts. But you know, every now and then we need to be reminded to go back to the basics of nutrition. You know, you can't go wrong with some walnuts and an apple. I literally have such a sugar addiction, you guys. I'm sitting here eating this apple and I'm fantasizing about having those little cups of like dipping caramel.
Yes, I love that. Okay, so I mean, I'm all about taking it back to basics and keeping snacks simple, because we don't all have time to make fancy pants snacks every single day. So looks great to me. Also, I totally remember those little foil pack caramel cups that my parents would like put into my lunchbox. So nostalgic, so good. But ultimately, this snack all on its own is fantastic. It's got a nice combination of carbs, fiber, protein, healthy fats in there. Everything's going on, so a very satisfying snack.
I mean, if I had caramel in the house, I'd be eating it, but I don't.
Kalel, my love, listen to me here. Just, you guys know what I'm gonna say, right? Girl, you are not good for just eating a plain apple, and you are not bad if you choose to eat the caramel sauce every once in a while. Let's move on.
At the restaurants and when you make it at home, so I feel like I need to use these bowls, so I started using these bowls. Anyway, wow. Yes, so we have lots of lettuce, about half of the container, like lots and lots and lots of lettuce. Then I have some shredded chicken breast, and I'm not putting that much. I want to say maybe like a cup total, right? And the cats are coming for me right now. Okay, and then I'm gonna go in with some seeds. I have pumpkin seeds, quite a bit. I really love seeds in salad. Total game changer. If you're not putting seeds in your salad, start. It literally makes it so much tastier. Sunflower seeds. Cranberries, you guys. This is another game changer for salads. Dried cranberries, so good. Then I'm gonna go in with just a little sprinkle of some organic feta cheese. It's a really good combo.
More cheese.
Cranberries.
More cheese.
Then I'm gonna do
it's not enough cheese.
Half of the dressing that we just mixed up. You'll see it's quite watery, but that's okay.
Okay, so we have a salad, and I didn't show this bit because there was a lot to show, but she made the salad dressing basically by taking a store-bought dressing and cutting it with lemon juice so that it stretches out the calories. I actually think it's a really great hack, not so much to save calories, but just to add that little added zip and brightness to kind of a flat, boring, basic store-bought dressing. So kind of fun. Anyway, the salad looks pretty great. I mean, it's got all my favorite foods in it, though I think it's a little light on the substance, especially for dinner. I would definitely want to throw in some like quinoa in there. I know she mentioned sometimes she adds avocado. Throw that in, girl. I would just need a lot more for dinner. I mean, I would eat all that and like some soup and bread on the side. That's just me.
Steep it for a couple of minutes because it's a little strong. So I'm gonna just let that sit. You can see it's already turning dark really fast. I'm gonna let that sit just for a couple minutes and I'm gonna take her out. I'm just gonna sip my tea and watch something on TV and pass out.
That was sad. That was disappointing. I'm hungry. I was really hoping to see, more snacks and meals, less colon tea. This girl probably has more coming out after that tea than she does going in. So on that note, let's take a look at the macros. So Kalel's total calorie intake clocks in around 1,046 calories. She's got about 43% of her calories coming from fat, 36% from carbs, and 21% from protein. I'm pretty concerned with Kalel's low calorie intake. I don't know if this is in an effort to combat the alleged weight gain or if it's intentional or not intentional. I really don't know, but it's low, like starvation low. As for her macros, it looks like Kalel's following a higher fat, lower carb, moderate protein diet. And if that works for her, great. However, I just want to note that she was talking a lot about this alleged sugar addiction. And it's very possible that that feeling and that perception may be a result of kind of carb restriction in general. I am also very concerned about her micronutrient intake, especially because she talked about her history of nutritional deficiencies. So I am seeing not a lot of vitamin D and calcium. There's not a whole lot of food sources there. I'm hoping she's taking a supplement, but she doesn't mention it. And those two things taken together could put her at risk of kind of bone health issues. She's also looking pretty low on folate, vitamin B12, magnesium. I mean, she was eating foods that have these nutrients, but because she's just eating so little, she's only having like 2 meals in the day, it just doesn't give her a whole lot of opportunities to actually meet those needs. So I'm hoping she's taking a multivitamin. She doesn't mention it, but it would definitely be a good place to start, or just eat more food. I mean, there's that too. So here's what I like about Kalel's diet. Number one, her honesty and openness. So Kalel obviously is quite open about her experience kind of walking away from a vegan diet. And I can tell that it was very hard for her to share this with her viewers, especially when they're expecting plant-based or vegan content. I have my own experience and my own thoughts about this, which you can watch in my video right here. But I like that Kalel talks about seeking out the advice of a doctor or a healthcare provider, and that she talks about not wanting to denounce veganism or criticize veganism, but just pointing out that it just didn't really work for her. This really speaks to how individualized nutrition really is, and I hope that people who are watching at home will re-examine their own health and understand how individualized and unique their body is before critiquing others online. I also like that her meals are simple and well balanced. I really like that all of Kalel's meals and snacks are easy, they're accessible, there's no hard to find or expensive ingredients going on. And honestly, I was even inspired by that whole rice cake situation. That looked awesome. Here's what I think that Kalel can improve on. Number one, ditch the tea propaganda and misinformation. While Kalel did include a disclaimer that said she's not drinking the tea for weight loss purposes, she's still aligning herself with a brand and a company that makes money off of baseless claims and targeting mostly women who want to lose weight and detox their body. Hard pass on that. Number two, she's definitely not getting enough calories. Okay, so I'm really hoping this is just like a one-off thing, because ultimately when you're eating intuitively, every day could look different. However, if this is on par with her usual regime when it comes to calories consumed, I would definitely be concerned with micro and macronutrient deficiencies, and also with long-term impacts to her metabolic and reproductive health. In this video, Kalel only has a few cups of tea and then has brunch and then waits 6 whole hours before having a modest snack. And I know she talks a lot about maintaining, blood sugar control and stabilizing her blood sugars. And the best way to do that is to actually eat more consistently and regularly so you don't get those spikes and dips in your blood sugar. If her rice-based meal is making her feel too full, I would suggest cutting it into some smaller, more frequent meals. And then of course, including more concentrated sources of calories like avocado, nut butter, more seeds, things like that. And finally, her language around weight and beauty. So throughout the video, Kalel makes a lot of comments about, the weight gain being a negative side effect of her just getting healthy. Like I mentioned before, if Kalel did gain weight, it might actually be because her body desperately needed to. She also talks a lot about having, multiple cosmetic surgeries, and the fact that the only reason she's mad about people saying she had Botox is because she believes it's an unattractive look. Listen, I don't care about your Botox or your plastic surgery. You do you. Whatever makes you feel good, amazing. However, as a role model and an influencer to a lot of young women and girls at home, I think we just have a responsibility to be a lot more cognizant of these kinds of conversations. Normalizing the manipulation of our bodies with skinny teas and colon cleanses and the manipulation of our face through plastic surgery is largely a result of social media. And as a female influencer, I feel a lot of responsibility to try to change that culture rather than perpetuate it. And I get that it's hard, it's really hard. And as faces in the media, we are at more risk of criticism, but we need to use our power to at least try. In conclusion, I think that Kalel is brutally honest with her viewers and really fun to watch. However, as an influencer with almost 2 million subscribers, I really think she's got such a responsibility to pay close attention to the messages that she's putting out there into the world. Kalel, you have so much power to change the status quo, and I'm hoping that with time, you will make peace with your own body and help other women do the same. So everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it the thumbs up. Leave me a comment below with some other YouTubers that you want me to review. Subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time on Abby's Kitchen. Bye!